welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're getting into a really, truly astonishing true crime story. It almost sounds made up. We're talking about Jeffrey Manchester, better known as the Roofman.
Right.
His crime spree from, what, 98 to 2000? It was just different.
Very different.
It wasn't smashing windows or kicking down doors. Nope. He came through the ceiling. Okay, let's unpack this.
What's fascinating here is, well, how he did it. Over 40 robberies, mostly fast food places all across the country. And his approach was unique, nonviolent, incredibly calm, apparently.
Through the roof. How?
Well, his method was pretty precise. He'd drill a hole in the roof, find a spot, then he'd wait. Closing time comes, he drops in, super quiet. Tells the employees, politely, mind you, to get in the freezer.
Politely.
Yeah, reportedly very calm, never aggressive, then grabs the cash and leaves. It's this weird mix of, like, courtesy and crime that made him so interesting to study.
And frustrating for the police, I bet.
Oh, definitely.
So our mission today is to really dig into that roof entry method, sure,
Yeah.
but also the twist.
The big twist.
Yeah, he gets caught in 2000, but then in 2004 he escapes prison. And then we get into the really bizarre part where he hid this double life he led.
Right.
And how it all came crashing down because of something just tiny, mundane, really.
So about that method.
Yeah.
Going through the roof over 40 times, it wasn't random.
No, seemed very planned. He knew buildings, maybe?
Exactly. Reports suggest he looked for weaknesses, maybe near HVAC units, places the roof wasn't as strong. Used specific tools, apparently, to cut through roofing materials quietly. Tar, gravel, you name it.
So surgical, not brute force.
Precisely. And sticking to that nonviolent approach, keeping things low-key, that helped him avoid major attention for a surprising amount of time.
Right, because maybe the police profile didn't quite fit. They expect violence, maybe.
Kind of. It challenged assumptions, definitely. He wasn't physically hurting anyone, just taking the money. It forced law enforcement to think differently about who qualifies as a high-priority target.
Okay, so 2000, they finally catch him. End of story.
Not even close. That's just Act 1, really.
Act 2, 2004, prison escape. Now, what is a guy like Manchester, methodical, nonviolent? What does he do on the run?
Well, yeah, that raises a good question. Most escapees try to disappear.
Right.
Different state, different country.
Go off the grid completely.
But Manchester, he did something else entirely. He needed somewhere to lay low, but also somewhere with, like, resources, access.
Yeah.
But without being obvious.
And this is where it gets unbelievable. He hid. Where?
In a Toys R Us.
You're kidding. Inside the store.
Not just inside. He lived in the ceiling for months.
No way.
Oh, apparently, yeah. Slept up there, had some sort of setup, and at night,
He'd come down?
he'd come down, wander the aisles, play with toys, use the bathrooms. I mean, it sounds like a movie plot.
How do you even sustain that? Living secretly inside a busy store.
Well, that's what's so wild about it, this whole hiding in plain sight thing. He used the anonymity of this big public space. Blend in by day somehow, operate unseen at night. Reports even mention, like, a little workstation he had rigged up in the ceiling space.
Incredible. And he wasn't just hiding, was he? He had a life.
Get this, by day, he was apparently dating a woman he met at a nearby church.
And she had no idea.
Completely clueless she was dating a fugitive living in the ceiling of a toy store.
Yeah.
You just can't make this stuff up.
So what does this all mean when you step back and look at Jeffrey Manchester, the roof man? Thief, soldier, ghost in the roof, as someone described him. You've got the polite robberies, the smart escape, and then living in a Toys R Us ceiling, dating someone. It's just...
It really is something else. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it's the sheer audacity, isn't it? The almost unbelievable details. Maintaining that secret life right under everyone's noses. And how did it end? Not some huge FBI takedown.
Right, the downfall was so small.
So small. He dropped a receipt, a Toys R Us receipt, apparently with his alias on it, during a completely routine traffic stop.
A piece of paper.
This piece of paper brought the whole elaborate thing down. Just goes to show, huh?
It really does. Makes you think, doesn't it? About human ingenuity, maybe where people draw the line. Or maybe just how little we sometimes know about the people around us. What secrets might be hiding in plain sight. Something to chew on.